What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live BFTB mock draft we're going to do for the Chargers. So we are going to be doing 6 rounds. We're just saying forget the 7th because there's too many picks and who cares at that point. So we're going to do 6 rounds, which means 6 total picks. And this is going to be the gang here. I think Jamie might join us on draft day for Thursday, but let's go around the horn. Stanley, say what's up.
Hey everybody, good to be back. I missed last year because I was gone for my sister's graduation from college, but I'm back at Bolt Fan in Denver on Twitter, and yeah, I'm ready to be back with the crew for draft day.
You didn't mess this one up, so we're happy about that, Stanley. Stebbs, what's up, man?
Hey everyone, D Stebbs, Daniel Stebbins, back again. I don't know how many years this is, but happy to be doing this again. Always have a blast and ready for this draft. Excited for it.
Yeah. All right. And the man himself, the boss man. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, guys? It's another year. Thank God we're here. We're still doing this. Thank God Matthew's back. Stebbins still hanging around the bunch. Couldn't be better to have him here. Yeah, guys, another year. I'm excited about it.
This is seriously like the best time spending like hours with you guys just drinking and talking football during the draft. It's amazing. Even when the picks aren't good, it's the best. We've
been pretty lucky, I'd say. We've had a decent amount to celebrate, I guess. Even in the moment when we were a little confused about it, right? Like even when Justin Herbert was picked, we didn't exactly understand what was going to happen in the next year. So Kenneth Murray, I think, was pretty justified so far. But I think we've had a lot to celebrate recently.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But we were all here for some other picks too, Tillery and the likes. Yeah, Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, Kenneth Murray.
But being able to celebrate Derwin and all that, man. Rashawn last year, that was a big one too.
I'll tell you what, I think we're still chasing that Forrest Lamp high.
Oh man.
Get out. Get out.
Well, just a heads up on the SB Nation sites, they want us to do things around like our worst draft takes and kind of similar stuff. And I was like, well, the Forrest Lamp pick always gives us a good amount of content to kind of go around there. So expect something like that, in the next week or so.
Oh man, we got a bunch of them, and they're live. They're somewhere on video. Probably a couple
out there. Yeah,
at least like 3 or 4 a day.
I'm just hoping that round 1 this year gives us an opportunity to have a similar celebration to Pat McAfee and his show the other day when they announced on air that the COVID restrictions got dropped and they danced for a full minute.
Yeah.
And I really want all 4 of us dancing like that for a full minute. But then Jamie will be what's his name? A Hawk, just sitting on the side, just like
Hawk's just like awkwardly like, is this gonna be over?
He's like, so is that real? And everyone else is like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a World Cup celebration, honestly.
Yeah. Who this year would make you celebrate like that before we start this draft?
I think JMO falling down would give me the serious happies. If somehow like teams were scared off and okay, I always do the worst with pronouncing names. Is it Stingley or it's Stingley, right?
Yeah.
Stingley.
Yeah.
If Stingley fell and they were able to get him without having to trade up, like even if they trade up like 1 or 2 picks, that's fine. But like not like jumping up to 11 to get ahead of the Vikings or anything. But one of those 2 guys would probably do that for me. Or cross falling. I would actually be pretty excited if cross fell.
Yeah. You got any other names, Steps?
Those 3, same here, honestly. Less so Cross. I love Cross, don't take me wrong, but I'd be less surprised if he were to fall than let's say Stingley. But my love for Jameson is such that I might be that excited. So,
what about you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm really hoping this year there's like another Daniel Jones example or a Karan Farrell pick where there's like guys who people did not see going at all, top 10, top 15 that go super early. And I mean, just any picks like that, and even quarterbacks that happen to go earlier because people don't think quarterbacks are going high this year. Any of those picks pushes down potentially a lot of these players we'd be really pumped to have at 17. So that's probably what I'm really excited about to see. As far as names go, I'd be excited for really any of those top 4 tackles to be at 17. Really, it just seems like it's either going to be Penning or Cross. Penning's a little more polarizing. I know some people absolutely love him. Some people don't see it. Cross is probably the higher floor player. But either way, I just think them being able to, for another year in a row, nail exactly, probably some people would argue their biggest need is in the first round, I think would be big. But I think corner as well, against Stingley, Sauce, Gardner. I'd like to write about a player named Sauce for the future. That would just make my job a lot more fun on a daily basis.
Jameson could be good too, though.
Right, Jameson, yeah, Jameson. I got a handful of Jameson shirts in the drawer right now. I mean,
there you go.
Maybe
draft day.
Right. So, like, there's a lot of exciting players that could be there at 17. But if any players, again, you don't expect to go ahead of 17, I think we could be in a good place at 17 this year.
Yeah. Stingley's like big time. I'd be really excited about Kyle Hamilton falling. I know not everybody would be, but adding another DB in the middle would be a lot of fun. And George Karlaftis is like one of my favorite edge players of this draft, and he's I don't think he's over the top 2. He's my edge 3, but he's been falling past 17, and a lot of people don't like him, but I loved his tape. So I would have been excited for him as kind of a developmental edge once Mac is done. We got a question, and I'm going to put you guys on the spot real quick. 3 days. Are we going to do all 3 days this year?
Oh, hell yeah. No, literally. So some of you know, I have a 2-year-old son, and my parents live in San Antonio. They haven't seen him since Christmas, and they wanted to come out last month in March. And I was like, no, like, it's not really working out. And then I started looking at the dates and saw the dates for the draft. I was like, hey, why don't you guys come out at the end of April? You guys can spend as much time with him as you want. And so my parents are coming out next weekend. They're going to be here all weekend. So I can just pass my son off. I can lock myself here in my little room in the basement and have the entire weekend to myself to do this.
Built-in babysitters. It's great.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm literally flying in babysitters to do the draft show.
That's commitment. Craig says, what's up?
Hey, Craig.
Chris, same here. Nathan says Stingley or JMO. We're with you there. Let's see. Hey, it's T-Man. Who has to be gone for us to trade back? Where are you guys?
All 4 tackles, I think, is a good starting place for that.
Okay.
And then Jameson off the board as well. I think top 2 corners, Sauce and Derek, Jameson, top 4 tackles. That's probably a worst case scenario situation that then I probably, trading back for, gaining some value there. I think would be ideal.
I mean, I in my opinion, like, trading back is almost one of my more preferred options at 17.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, it's not so much a matter of who has to be gone. It's who has to still be there on the clock for somebody to be calling the Chargers. And a lot of things I'm seeing recently are that a lot of these quarterbacks are falling hard. And there are some very, like, realistic scenarios where there's one or no quarterbacks gone when the Chargers hit at 17, and somebody like the Steelers could come up. There's some good trade back options.
Yeah.
And there's this draft, like I've heard it said this way, that the like picks 1 through like players 1 through 15 aren't as good as most drafts have been recently, but like players 20 through 95 are really good this year. Like that area of the draft is super rich. So if they can trade back and either get their second rounder back or pick up another third rounder, in my opinion, that's almost better than settling for someone like number 6 on their board or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm team trade back all the way. What about you, Stebbs?
Yeah, if Jameson's there, if Stanley is there somehow, I would want to take one of those 2 guys. Should those both be gone, then my next step would then be to look at trading back. I'm assuming at that point Cross is gone, and I don't want to get Penning at 17. So if those are your options, JMO, Stingley are gone, the 3 tackles are gone, I'm looking to move out. So pick up that second round pick, that third round pick, whatever you can pick up. That's what I'm looking for then. But like you said, I don't hate that option of moving back. So I don't want to look at it as, all of our guys are gone, we have to trade back. I want to look at it as we actually are going to trade back. I don't think they've done that before, so that'd be fun. I would not hate that one bit.
Yeah, I'm with Stanley. I think there's a lot of strong in the middle. It's like very thin at the top, but it's so strong in that second to fourth round range. Obviously the Chargers don't have a second, but yeah, trading down and maybe then you can feel safer about taking one of the guards, maybe Zion, Kenyon Green, following with like a Dax Hill later for a versatile DB. I like Jalen Petrie a lot. There's a lot of guys like in the middle, and a lot of those edges are going to start falling too. So there's going to be a lot of good players.
Even the wide receivers. If you trade back into the mid 20s, I mean, I would take Burks and Sky Moore, either one of them in the 20s, and be really, really happy about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
even you had mentioned him earlier, but Karlaftis is looking like a lot of these mocks we're seeing. He's going in those 20s. Yeah, so that might be a range for something like that too, if you wanted to go for that edge 3. So
yeah, for sure. Let's see. We'll probably get into. There's some questions here. Let's just go around the horn here. If Karlaftis is the best player available, the tackles are gone, wide receivers are thin here, would you take Karlaftis at 17 or would you trade back?
I'm trading back.
If there's an offer to trade back, I'd go back. So that's obviously really dependent, but I would be okay with Karlaftis at 17. I like him, but I would rather have him later.
What about you, Mike?
I think it's pretty realistic to be able to trade back and still grab Karlaftis. I think if you trade back, there's going to be maybe a stretch of wide receivers and a quarterback or two, maybe between like we trade back. So 17 to looking at the board here to 20, Packers could take a wide receiver.
What's Pittsburgh? Let's just go with that because that makes too much sense. Whatever they are.
Why is 18 and 19 missing on this mock draft chart? Unless I'm just totally.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's because they don't list the teams twice. So because the Eagles and Saints are there at 15 and 16, they don't relist them.
Never mind. Yeah, I'd probably trade back. I just think it's realistic. I think a lot of players the Chargers wouldn't be interested in would go in that stretch of their original pick to where they trade back. And then I think Karlaftis could be a really nice pick. And then hopefully picking up, depending on which team trades up, maybe pick up a very late second, somewhere around there where you could get one of those second tier offensive tackles potentially. So you kind of knock out, more of those needs and still have pretty good value, at least in terms of your picks.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh is 20. So you'd move back 3 spots and you'd have a lot of options there because you're not dropping down too far.
Yeah, trade back to 20, you probably wouldn't pick up too much as far as like, you're not looking at a second or probably even a third at that point, I don't think, as far as the value chart. I'm not exactly sure of it, but I'm guessing either like a late 3 or a 4 or something along those lines. And but as I know you guys have talked about it in like your podcast, a lot of people have talked about the depth in the guard class is kind of that second, third heading into fourth range. That'd be a great value to pick up there if you were to trade back to 20, especially if you can still get one of those, Karlaftis or Booth or whoever you're looking for. So that'd be an incredible option in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that sweet spot, which we'll get into in a little bit. All right, before we get into the mock, you got to draft one of the BFTB guys at 17. Who are you taking? It's a high draft pick. I'm taking Mike. Well, I'm probably trading back actually, but yeah, if I gotta settle, I'm taking Mike there.
That's the correct move. I would trade back, find someone more valuable because of the position of need. I'm a luxury pick. You don't need me.
I'm trading my picks to I'm trading my pick to San Francisco and getting Cozy back.
Yeah. So I'm just to update you. Yeah, Randy. So we talked about it at the top, but we're going to do 6 rounds. We're just going to punt the 7th round because it's just too boring. And we'll do all the exciting picks 1 through 6, which is going to be 6 total picks. It's going to skip the 2nd round, obviously, because I don't have a pick, but we're just going to get right into it. Let's just see how this lands. You guys ready?
Let's go.
All right. 17-6. Let's enter draft and start it. Ooh, I just saw, let's see. So it went Hutchinson, Gardner went 2. Thibodeau, Walker, Neal, Cross, Hamilton. Ooh, McDuffie went before Stingley. Interesting. So Jameson's gone in our mock. Drake, Karlaftis, Garrett. Oh man.
Wow, Karlaftis went very early.
Yeah. Okay.
Devin Lloyd.
Yep. Oh, Devin. Did Nakobe Dean go? No. Oh, all right.
So right away, this is kind of like a good example of, you see a lot of those players' names up there, and they're good players. They're just, maybe they've gone a little bit higher than a lot of us expect at this point in time. And you see just how many good players that pushes down to 17. I mean, Devin Lloyd, arguably, a lot of people think he's linebacker 1. Okay, if he goes in the top 16, cool, pushes the guy down. 1 or 2 more quarterbacks, pushes the guy down. So you look at who's best available, some pretty good names there.
Yeah, this is trade back time for me. Okay, well, we're not doing any trades. We're just going to go straight up. So let's just look at the board here. So Wyatt's still there.
Yeah, Jordan Davis.
Are we seeing Jordan Davis? Yeah, let's see. So Penning is still there for tackle.
So PFF does not have Penning too high.
No.
Jermaine Johnson is still there.
Yeah, and Ebiketie. I like a lot, but that's
actually there's a lot of good players here.
Yeah. Olave.
Yeah, we're gonna wind up running into the same situation on draft night. We're gonna be begging them to trade back, and they're not.
Oh man,
for sure.
This is one of the worst case scenario here.
This is a worst case scenario because there's so many players that we want here, and they're not gonna pick one of them. Like based on all the information that Garrett has gotten, like, looking at the board right now, I think Jordan Davis is the pick based on what Garrett's guy has told him.
Mm-hmm.
Because they basically said they're predicting Davis to go top 15, and if he's the pick at 17, if he's still there at 17, he's going to be one of the highest guys. Like it's pretty much going to be a wrap. Like unless somebody in the room really pounds the table for somebody else, like that's their playbook right now, is that Davis would be that guy.
Okay, so do we want to give a top 3 of guys we'd go, or we just want to give our top here and where you'd go? I know there are trade back offers, but we're not going to take them. Randy, I know people are talking about trading back in the chat, but we're going straight up.
I'll jump in with the top 3 if we get that started.
Yeah.
All right. If you want me to go to position, just let me know, guys.
All right, sounds good. I think I got my 3 though.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Olave would be my number 1 in this situation. I am a big fan of going wide receiver in the first. Obviously, J-Mo is my first pick, but Olave is second. Not too far behind J-Mo, but a second. Then Jordan Davis. No, I'm sorry. Then Johnson from Florida State as the edge. I know a lot of people are kind of more on the fence with drafting that third edge as compared to that third wide receiver or that third corner. But I think adding a third edge guy, especially when you consider the only guy they have as depth is Rump. So I think adding someone like Johnson would be fantastic, not only for now, but also going into the future. Because although Mac is, obviously someone we're all very excited about, he isn't exactly the youngest guy. So in 1, 2, 3 years, you have someone already lined up for them. You can also keep those guys more fresh too. You have Joey and you have Mac, who have had Joey's injury concerns in the past, and then Mac's injury concerns last year. Having that third guy is going to be so big. And then in third is Jordan Davis. I think that even though he is my third, I would love to have Jordan Davis. The other guys are just above him, and that being because Austin Johnson and Sebastian Joseph Day. Although I am very excited about Johnson is a shorter term contract, and then you have Tillery also is going to be creating a hole once he's gone after this season. So I think the needs are there for all 3 of those positions, and all 3 of those guys fill that hole. For me, it's Chris Olave, Johnson, and Davis.
All right, Mike. I know you're going to have a different take here. Who are
just a little bit different. I'm gonna preface this with that I would be fine with the Chargers taking a wide receiver at 17. I think we've seen a lot of teams have success taking that risk, or at least spending that pick, first round pick, on a receiver, especially guys out of Ohio State. Recently, we've seen Terry McLaurin, and those things tend to pay off. But I'm gonna stick kind of in the trenches here. Surprise, surprise. My number 1 here would be Jordan Davis. Now, recently I was on the radio to make it like an expert pick, and the players I had left were not good at all. And I ended up picking Devontae Wyatt over like Andrew Booth or one of the Ohio State wide receivers. And my reasoning is, yeah, it's cool that they got Sebastian Joseph Day and Austin Johnson. I'm not terribly sold on Austin Johnson because he just had like his first okay year in the NFL. Like he was fine. He was good. He saw success in the New York Giants defense. But like 1 year of being just like an okay player in the NFL doesn't exactly sell it for me. And I like Sebastian Joseph-Day. I think he's going to be great. But I just don't want the Chargers to really have any more excuses on a run defense that can't stop the run in any situation they need to. So like I'm okay having a little bit of overkill when it comes to interior defenders and stopping the run. I think Jordan Davis is huge. I think he's the type of player that this defense needs right there in the middle, especially with some of the athletic playmakers they have around him. So Jordan Davis would be my first. After him would be Trevor Penning. I am a fan. It's a little bit of an Iowa bias. He is born and raised here, but I think he has the temperament and all of the other physical traits that you want in an NFL offensive tackle. He plays with the chip on his shoulder that is the size of SoFi Stadium. That guy wants to legally assault people on every play.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said on the preview for the Big Boys Club coming out here this draft season. Like, literally, he's just like, my favorite thing about football is legally assaulting people in front of me. I think that's huge. I think that temperament, that mindset general is something that the Chargers have been building the last few years, but they still need a little bit more. So obviously right tackle, huge need. He's going to be my second. And I think for third, in this very ideal situation, the fact that Jermaine Johnson from Florida State has dropped this far, I think you've got to throw him in your top three. Similar to what Stebbins said, Mac isn't the youngest chicken in the coop, and we're probably going to have a good year or two from him, hopefully. But being able to add a third guy like Jermaine Johnson, who's not only a very athletic, good pass rusher, he is arguably one of the best edge players in terms of playing the run. And I think that's a great player to follow up Mac, who is also very good at setting the edge and playing the run as well at that position. So that would be my top three. We would go Jordan Davis, Trevor Penning, and then Jermaine Johnson.
So you like Davis over Wyatt? Because you kind of seemed like you liked Wyatt over Davis at the beginning there. You like Davis?
Oh, I like Davis. The anecdote I told at the beginning was because like all the tackles were gone in this expert mock I was doing.
Oh, gotcha.
Jameson was gone. All the 4 tackles were doing. So I was left with like Andrew Booth from Clemson, Wyatt, or maybe like one of the Ohio State receivers.
Got you.
I just said, look, Wyatt, because again, no excuses. Stop the damn run and get all the players you can.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go Penning 1, but we got Jordan Davis. Okay. All right, Stanley. So Olave's Stebbs 1. Mike likes Jordan Davis. Stanley?
I'm big team trade back here, but since we can't, I know. If we got to pick players,
I got a question, Stanley, real quick. So your team trade back right now because why exactly? Because there are good players who ideally could be off the board before we get to 17, and there's quite a few players here now. Is that because you feel like you could trade back? And seeing how the board fell, there may still be some pretty good players back, or is there another reason?
There's enough good players here that there's enough good players here, but none of them they're borderline pick 17 graded players for me. Like there's a lot of good players here that are all I have graded closer to 20. And so that's why I would say team trade back here is because all of the players that are still available, I actually have slightly lower grades on. And so because of the plethora of choices, like it's making my decision harder because I feel like I'm kind of reaching for any of them rather than getting another pick in the juicy rounds this year and feeling more comfortable about the value. So that's why I'm kind of team trade back here. Like none of the guys that I have graded at 17 or higher really are left. Like JMO's gone. A couple of the defenders, they're all gone. So
what about this pick though? The Commanders want 47. You'd be trading back pretty far here.
Well, yeah. So yeah, click that the drop down. If that's the one that the drop down where the Commanders are.
Oh, my bad.
So it usually puts them in order. And
because then it goes to San Francisco and then the Rams.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird that it's not showing the drop down for us.
Yeah. Weird. Anyway.
Yeah. So there are no good trade back options right now anyway.
So it doesn't matter. Yeah.
With that in mind, I think I'd probably have to go Olave 1. God, it gets hard. Yeah. So I'd go Olave 1 just because I really think they do need to add another starting quality wide receiver, somebody who's going to be out there, somebody who is going to be a wide receiver 2 at minimum, and preferably somebody who has wide receiver 1 upside. And I'm only throwing Olave there because I have that voice in the back of my head saying that the Chargers have him probably ranked higher. But honestly, like, Treylon Burks is still my wide receiver 2. Like, it's real hard for me not to put Treylon Burks there. And so
your love for him as it runs deep, man. I know that's the thing,
I want him so bad. He's one of my big draft crushes this year. So Olave 1. They need to start thinking about the future. They need to have that guy there, and they need somebody who can come in and contribute in the ways Olave does contribute in. Like, he is a really good route runner, but he creates a lot of separation. The tools are there for him to be a good yak guy, but the way he was used in the Ohio State offense, he didn't get a lot of receptions with opportunity to create yak, if that makes sense. So we don't really fully know what that potential is. But like I said, he's got the tools to be a good guy there. I'm also of the opinion that the Chargers, probably due to cap space, are going to need to move on from Keenan next year. And so you're either taking a wide receiver in round 1 or 2 this year, or you're taking a wide receiver in round 1 or 2 next year. And so because I know who's in this draft, I give a little priority to that. For my second pick, probably Jermaine. Like we've said, having that third really good edge guy is so important because guys need to take plays off. Mac is old. He's coming off an injury. You need to keep him fresh with the rotation, and you need to make sure that going into the future, you have somebody there. And this is a really good edge class. This is like a fairly deep edge class. And so you want to grab a guy who is going to stick on your roster and eventually become that starter there, opposite Joey or whoever. And so Jermaine, he is a little bit older. He's going to be close to 24 by the time the season starts. But he is relatively fresh because he was playing down the depth chart before he transferred to Florida State. And so he's got less mileage on him, I guess you could say, even at almost being 24. For my third pick, this one's hard. It's basically a coin toss, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. It's basically a coin toss between Burks and actually Zion Johnson.
Oh, okay.
I would love Zion solves so many problems for this team, and I think he becomes a impact starter faster than a guy like Penning would. And so for that reason, I would put him there, and having that core of Lindsley and Zion and probably Brendan Jameis, because in that situation they probably move Filer out to tackle. Hymus, whatever. Yeah. What? See, I told you I was bad with names. I just don't care. Zion is just he's a stud, and he's one of those guys that you draft him and he makes the Pro Bowl 60% of the time over the next 10 years.
Okay. All right. Well, it seems like it's going to be Olave, though. My number one would be Jermaine Johnson. I just think that having him fall here, he's the best player available, and a guy that you would really, really, really help this pass rush and the run defense. He's a really good run defender, and I love having Johnson here develop behind Mac, and in certain packages kick Bosa and Mac inside and let Jermaine rush off the edge. I love it. It's a luxury pick. Olave's number 2 for me. Jameson's number 1 wide receiver overall for me. He's gone. Olave's number 2 overall for me, wide receiver. So I would go Olave. And 3, I'd go Devontae Wyatt over Jordan Davis. I think he's a 3 tech in this league, and I think between Sebastian Jordan Davis, and Sebastian Joseph Day. Jordan Davis, Joseph Day. I got Jordan Davis on the mind, and Austin Johnson. They kind of flex out to 0-3 tech in this system, and I think having the pass rush upside of Wyatt, and then also the stingy run defense, I think you get a lot more out of Wyatt than you do out of Jordan Davis, taking him in the middle. Though I wouldn't hate either of them. So the pick's going to be Olave because he got 2 votes. So we'll just roll forward. Chargers get their wide receiver, and I'm happy with it.
So it doesn't concern you that Wyatt is already 24 and is going to be 24 and a half by the time the season starts?
No, not at all. It does you?
Yeah, well, it does me only because if you're taking that first round guy, if you're taking him in the first round like that, you're signing him to a second contract like 2 months before he turns 30. And it's his second contract.
Yeah, but with those interior defensive guys, it's not like you keep them around for 100 years anyway.
I mean, I would hope to get 8 to 10 out of him. Like,
I still think you could, but let's. Yeah, I hear you though. And Jermaine Johnson's on the older side too. So
he is, but Wyatt is one of the oldest guys in the class. Like he turned 24 3 weeks ago.
And that's old.
That's old for a rookie. Yeah.
For a rookie. All right. So, okay. Here we are. You want me to go through positions?
Sure.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So we already got wide receiver. Tight end available. Jelani Woods is still there. Running back, if you guys care. Pierce and Cook are still available. Max Mitchell, Deesh. Let's go guard. This is where the good guards are still. Dylan Parham still there. Cole Strange. Let's see. Corner. Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
Marcus Johnson.
Loves Marcus Johnson.
Interior. Fedarian Mathis is still there. Matthew Butler. Neal Farrell. And what did I do? Edge.
You skipped safety too.
Oh, I did? Oh, okay. Man, Edge falls off.
Malone isn't too bad.
Channing Tyndall still there. Darian Beavers.
Wasn't Malone like the Edge player of the week at the Senior Bowl?
He showed out pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like defensive player of the week for like one of the teams. I'm pretty sure.
And then Brian Cook still there. McKinley's still there too. Man, he's falling off. Okay, so instead of doing 3, where are you guys looking here? Let's start with Mike. Why don't you start?
I think it's tough not to look at tackles immediately, not being able to land one in the first, no second round pick. So Kellen Deesh is definitely up there. But we're kind of talking about, Zion and the impact he could have, at least getting a good guard in there. So Dylan Parham, he's loved by a lot of people. I think 67, his rank here is pretty good. I think some people even have him higher than that, like an early round 2, mid round 2 pick. So the fact that he'd be available in the 3rd, I think is pretty good. And go to edge real quick. I think I mentioned Western Kentucky's D'Angelo Malone. He's a very toolsy player. I think that'd be a pretty good pick here as well. I think the ranking kind of matches up. 89, yeah, it's fine, kind of in that area. Here, I would probably go offensive line. I just think you probably need to make that. Defensive interior wasn't too good, if I remember correctly. It really wasn't anybody.
Yeah, Mathis is still there.
Fedarian Mathis, I mean, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I
remember a few months ago, all of us were like Mathis in the first, like hell yeah. Like when we were projected to, like, when we all thought we were going to make the playoffs and that the Chargers were going to make the playoffs and we were going to be picking in the mid-20s, all of us were like Mathis round 1. Yeah, hell yeah.
I remember him being like a second round pick paired with the Chargers several times, but the fact that like he's here in the 3rd and we're not even really considering like Mathis right away in the 3rd kind of shows you like how much stuff has changed since then. I think here. I think I think the value for Parham is really big. I probably lean Parham.
Okay. Stebbs.
Kind of leaning towards we have that comment there by Nathan Harrison, DL or OL here in the third for me, and that's probably where I would be looking at too. Not knowing exactly who is on the board, but just going into the strategy of having wide receiver in one. The trenches is where I would look also here in the third. So I know defensive interior, like you said, there's Fedarian Mathis. Stay on the IOL. So you have Dylan Parham, Donovan West, Cole Strange. I know there's some big Cole Strange fans. Sean Ryan at guard is a fun one. I know that he's listed as tackle there because he's a monster of a human, but he's a guard going into the pros. Marquis Hayes, I've heard a lot about lately, but I don't think he's a pick here in the third. I'm leaning towards Parham as well. As far as adding to your guard competition there going into next season. Yeah, I'm leaning Parham.
Okay, Stanley?
I'm basically flipping a coin between Parham and Marcus Jones. Like Parham, I'm probably leaning Parham because he, for kind of the same reasons why I was considering Zion in the first, picking a guy like Parham, I feel like you're picking a guy in the third round who can come in and start day one. Like because of the Chargers offensive line situation, you're drafting Dylan Parham and he's penciled into your starting lineup immediately. And as we know, it's kind of rare, especially for Chargers third round picks, to have a guy come in and contribute at all, let alone be a starter. But Parham's the kind of guy who could do it. And then Marcus Jones, I just love. He's a football player. Like he's tiny, but he is like he never lets that stop him. Like he's a technically sound football player. He plays the hell out of corner. He played both inside and outside in college. He's probably more of a slot guy in the NFL. But strangely enough, I saw a chart the other day that most of his success was actually in man coverage versus zone. And so that's why I kind of like him in the slot in this scheme, just covering whoever that slot guy is. But he's also a hell of a returner. He's got 9 career kick returns or punt returns for touchdown, like combined. And he even played offense for Houston a little bit. Like he just, you put him on the field and he just plays football. And so he's the kind of guy that, Staley would love. He's a versatile piece and he helps special teams and defense. And he's another guy that you're picking in the third round that's going to see significant reps, significant snaps this season, both on special teams and defense.
Yeah. So I'm a big Mathis fan. I would flip between Mathis and Dylan Parham is where I'm leaning. Marcus Johnson is also in the mix, like Stanley mentioned, but we've already voted on Dylan Parham. So I love him a lot. Former track star, was a tight end coming out of college, 4-year starter, played some right tackle. He's probably not going to play right tackle, obviously, because of the size. So he'll be a guard, and you can kick Filer out to right tackle. It makes a ton of sense. He's got the athleticism, balance, really good technique. I like Parham a lot. I had him as a high third round grade, so this is really good value here for Dylan Parham, where the Chargers pick here in the third round. So I'm good with it. I think we all agree here unanimously that we should just go Dylan Parham, take care of this offensive line, invest in the trenches, and take them. And I think there are some good interior defensive linemen later too. So somebody was asking, where was it?
Ooh.
About what we would do, and then what the Chargers would do. So in the first round, do you think the Chargers taking Penning there or Davis?
I think Jordan Davis, right?
I think Jordan Davis.
Yeah, Davis. Davis.
Based on what the board was, Davis was the pick right there.
What do you think in the second?
You mean the third?
Or the third, yeah.
In the third, I actually see them picking Parham. I think that's great value. Again, it's a position of need.
Yeah, and they like those athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The only positions. Scroll back up real quick to around like just after the Chargers pick.
In the third.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce went. Oh yeah, Mathis went.
Yeah.
Right
So I could see them considering Pierce there. Like I could see them considering a wide receiver in the third, and Pierce seems like the kind of guy that they would go for.
Yeah, we didn't even look at wide receivers because we took one already, but yeah. Whittingham. Okay, so and Jelani Woods. Okay, so all right, here we are in the 4th round. So Deesh is still there. So let's start thinking about tight ends here. Charlie Kolar, I like a lot. Let's see, running back here, strong.
Love
Algiers. Me too. Algier. Kyron Williams is really falling off here.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Corner.
Ooh, working. Yeah, that's so much athlete. Those 2 picks right there. Those 2 players.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
Super athletes.
Yep. Kobe Bryant's still there. Safety. How much there?
Edge.
So, interior, Neal Farrell.
Neal Farrell.
Farrell. Am I saying his name wrong? Farrell?
I could be too. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Chat can help us out, I'm sure. Damone Clark is still there.
Now, Damone Clark's the one who's having surgery where he's probably missing his whole rookie season. But if that news didn't come out, or if he wasn't having the surgery at all, he might be a day 2 pick for sure.
All right, so there's not much here edgewise. Okay. Man.
Can you show me tackles, offensive tackles again real quick?
Yeah. Well, Let's Go's been a nice little sleeper. I got to watch him yesterday.
Okay, and then show me.
I mean, just by going off ranking alone, Deesh is all of a sudden looking.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, Jamie would be pounding the table right now.
He would actually not be.
Oh, he's not a Deesh.
He hates Deesh.
His loyalty does have some limits.
Yeah, it does.
Deesh 6'7", 301, 4'8", 40.
So it seems like all right, you we'll let who hasn't gone first? Stebbs? You haven't gone first yet. What do you think?
Let me see here. Go to tight ends because I thought I saw Chiggs was available, right? Yeah, I do like him a lot.
Who?
I don't. Okonkwo.
Oh, okay.
Not sure if I would necessarily go him here, but I am a big fan of his and the upside he can provide there. I think the signing of Everett makes it to where I'm not necessarily aiming for a tight end this early. I still would like to get one, but I mean maybe not here in the 4th. Deesh is attractive. Can you go back to the edge rushers?
You're right. He's a good-looking dude.
I'm sure he is, man. I'm sure he is.
Edge?
Yeah. Uzuriki. Man, this is a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. And then let's go back to defensive interior. You said Farrell was there, right?
Yep, and Matthew Butler and Thomas Booker. That's two.
Farrell might be where I go here, actually. Yeah, gonna go ahead and say Neal Farrell for me.
Okay.
Again, big fan of adding depth initially, at least, to defensive interior. Austin Johnson's 2 years, Tillery's 1 year. So they're going to need a guy coming up soon. Drafting someone in the 4th round, especially out of LSU, I think is an attractive option there. That's going to be where I lean. I'm not in love with it, but I think the value is there, and I think he's a good enough player to take here in the 4th. So I'm going to go Neal Farrell.
All right. Mike?
Yeah, Farrell is enticing, but he's kind of like he's kind of pigeonholed into being a nose tackle, and that's it. I mean, he's a massive guy. He's not very athletic. He is pretty much just going to be a guy eating up double teams, and he has to be able to hold his ground, and that's it. So while that could be interesting, I don't know how often this defense wants to be in their base front where they are working with an actual true nose. I think when they go base right now with who's on the roster, I think Johnson ends up being that guy. I don't know if that's where he should be. So being able to take somebody where it wouldn't force them into the nose would be kind of ideal here. Will you go to running back real quick? I know Strong was there, but the 4th seems a little high for Strong, despite his ranking being kind of up here. Someone mentioned in the chat that Brian Robinson from Alabama is listed as a Valparaiso running back.
Yeah, there's some fun little glitches I've found.
Yeah, Valparaiso was in Drake's conference, the a non-scholarship Division I conference. So very odd. I mean, Brian Robinson, I like him. He's a big back, can do it all. I think he'd be a solid complementary player to Austin Eckler, but same thing kind of goes with Pierre Strong. I just think it seems high to be in the 4th round. Like, he didn't, hyper productive, one of the fastest 40s. In general, his athletic testing across the board was one of the best for his position. So that's why I really love Pierre Strong. I just don't know, especially without a 2nd round pick, that the 3rd player in general the Chargers get out of this draft would be a running back. I don't know if that's necessary. We go to offensive tackle. I know Deesh is here. Logan Bruss doesn't really do it for me. Okay, and then go to corner. I don't think there was any big names that stood out. No, not really. That's a tough one. Deesh is interesting. I think value Deesh looks really good. He's very athletic. I think he's got a lot of tools. I think he's a player that you maybe have to invest a year or two in. Can the Chargers, can they offer to do that at this point? I think so, especially when you get a guy like Parham. I think that right tackle position looks a little bit more safe, whoever ends up being out there. I think you probably go Deesh here. I just think now looks a lot better than trying to find a tackle that does it for you in the 5th or later round.
All right. Deesh for Mike. What about you, Stanley?
All right. Can you real quick go back to interior defensive line and scroll down just a little bit? Keep going. Yeah, there's my guy. Okay. Yeah, so I'd probably take John Ridgway here over Neal Farrell.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ridgway's still on the board?
Yep, Ridgway's still there.
Oh, wait, that seems very low.
PFF has him ranked really low. But
and Haskell Garrett if he's much lower than most people.
If John Ridgway is still there in the 4th, I'm taking John Ridgway. I think he has better upside than Farrell. He's taller, has longer arms, is stronger, a little bit lighter, and I think can move really well for his size. I mean, just looking at their three cones is hilarious. Neal Farrell had an 8.42 3-cone, and John Ridgway actually had a
7.90.
Yeah, like 7.9. So like both are bad, but
yeah,
like Neal Farrell's is like hilariously bad. And I think that John Ridgway kind of gives you kind of what Austin Johnson is bringing to the team, but that's a good profile for this defense, is that you need those guys. You need a guy that can play nose tackle when you need him to, but can also play 3. And I could even see like in some sort of heavy package playing as wide out as 5. He's just that good of an athlete, in my opinion. And from what I saw on tape, he anchors really, really well, and he uses his arms really well. He was a state champion wrestler in high school. And I really like him. So my pick is going to be Ridgway.
Wow. So we got Farrell or Farrell. We got Ridgway. We got Deesh. I thought everybody was going to go with Pierre Strong with me, but I guess I'm on an island here. And now we have 4 separate picks here in the 4th. I just think complimenting a guy like Eckler with a guy like Pierre Strong could do wonders for this offense in terms of adding speed. Go ahead, Mike. You're gonna say something?
I'll go Pierre Strong. F it. Let's do it.
Well, why don't we let the chat decide? Don't back down now.
All right.
Yeah, let's
that's fine. I mean, I love him. I didn't want to sound stupid taking him in the 4th.
I would take him here. I just think that there's a lot of interior defensive linemen still left. I think we already took care of offensive line with Parham, so I think we don't need a tackle right now if you're kicking Filer out, because then you kind of are somebody's not playing. Hymas isn't starting. We're gonna have a big competition there. But let's have the chat decide. First three up.
Also, just real quick for asking if running back is too rich, but Ridgeway isn't.
Yeah,
Ridgeway has a 3rd to 4th round grade from Dan Brugler, and others I've seen, and Pierre Strong is consistently 4 to 5. So,
and he's also the 99th ranked prospect on TDN. So yes, on PFF he's a very low rated guy. I didn't even think that John Ridgeway was going to be available at that point. So like when he was at the top of the ranks there, I just assumed he was gone. So yeah, because PFF has him that low, I wouldn't say that, oh, it's a big reach or something like that. Most other people seem to have him around this 3rd, 4th range. So.
Yeah. Would you have taken Ridgeway over Farrell if you knew he's there, Stebbs?
Flip a coin. I'm good with either. I mean, I think you're both looking at a nose tackle there. So I think either, pick your poison. I would not have disagreed with John Ridgeway. I would be a fan of him in the 4th as well. So
5. It looks like we've got 5 Strongs and
then Ariza.
Yeah, a couple goofballs to punters. And a couple Ridgeways, a couple D.
Yeah,
all right.
Big old goofball, Richard.
All right, we're going Pierre Strong Jr.
I'm happy.
So now I think we're looking interior defensive line and tight end.
We might be able to cheat and have Ridgeway there too.
I mean, yeah,
Algier in the 5th. See, this is why I didn't want to go running back in the 4th.
Yes, Algier in the 5th, and a guy like Ty Chandler might even be there in the 6th too. So like that's for me why I'm not a big fan of running back in the 4th.
Even like 5th, 6th for a guy like Hassan Haskins too. Like
yes,
man, this trio right here probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I almost feel like it's cheating saying John Ridgeway here because like he should be gone.
Noah Ellis, I know, was in. God, what? Someone did a 7-round mock, and he was like the team's 4th round pick. I want to say, but that's another like true nose tackle. Like he's a massive human being.
All right, let's look at tight end because we need to.
Isaiah Likely, would definitely not be here. No,
he's been dropping like a stone. Like,
which is weird though. Like nothing's come out for him to be dropping. Like Jalen Weidermeyer makes sense. Like he tested one of the worst tight ends in history.
He tested like Neal Farrell.
But Isaiah Likely, one of the best like move tight end H-backs, like flex guys at his position in the class. So like that's really weird to see.
Let's see.
Adam Anderson would be interesting if not for the felony.
Have you pulled up Edge yet?
I did, yeah, but here you
go. Jesse Lucetta from Penn State's not bad, but he'll be around a little bit.
We got 3 more picks here in this mock?
Yeah.
Corner.
Yeah, it's a pretty big need.
Hey, what can you tell us about Bland?
Bland should not be 190. He's a good corner if you're looking for one in the 6th, 7th, and undrafted. I do not get him being in the 5th. I'm thinking more 7th and undrafted. I mean, he's a guy who came into Fresno State towards the end of his college career, and he had a good season last year. He really did. As far as like athletic standpoint, he tested the best of any Fresno State athlete that was at their pro day. But I think that's a little early for him, if I'm being honest with you. Like he had lapses in what I would say is his processing. Like it almost like he got stuck in coverage so often. And you're talking about Mountain West. I know I love the Mountain West, but you're not dealing with, the Jameson Williams of the world. And I think he could be a bit over his head when it gets to the NFL. So I think he'll take a couple years of development. I'm actually shocked to see him ranked there. I've never seen him. I've done PFF mock drafts a million times. I haven't seen him ranked that high before. So
the thing about Bland is that he's really not my flavor for a quarterback.
Oh, nice.
God. Oh,
Thank
God.
you. Good one. Good.
Was it though? Was it?
I liked it. All right. So what? All right, fellas. So where are we at here? What are you guys feeling?
Can you go back to all?
Yeah.
Isn't Daniel Bellinger? He's like one of the more traditional wide tight ends in this class.
And he was one of the better testers at tight end this year.
So like the thing is, if the team apparently, according to Brandon Staley, Trey McKitty is that person, for the Chargers. He is what they need as a blocker, and they're trying to get him to be a better pass catching threat. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't see them taking a Bellinger here.
That would make sense. You could put him as kind of like a Trey McBride light. Can you show wide receivers for me real quick?
I already took one.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ooh, Thornton's there.
Tyquan Thornton.
Thornton and Velus Jones in the fifth is also very tempting.
And you have some speed in those too.
Whew. Thornton has a lot of speed, but he's so raw. Like Velus Jones, at least he is like he immediately impacts special teams. Thornton, you'd have to teach him how to tackle.
What?
He's a gunner. He's a gunner. To get on and on top of having to teach him how to run routes. Plus, that they love their connections, and there's so many Tennessee connections that Velus Jones makes a lot of sense there.
All right. Let's see.
Show me linebackers again.
Ooh, Mike Rose. He's a former Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He's done some things. He's seen success. I think he could be a good, solid pick. Jack Sanborn, Wisconsin. Their linebackers are always decent. DeMarco Jackson, Daniel Jeremiah. That was his alma mater. He really likes Jackson. There's a couple of good ones there.
This is our fourth pick, right? Yeah. Okay.
This is our fifth rounder.
So we got Olave, Dylan Parham, and then we went Pierre Strong. So we don't have any. We need a tight end, interior defensive line, corner,
edge.
That's a lot of positions with only 3 more picks for our mock here. All right. Well, is Isaiah likely cheating here? Because I think that's where I would go. I think you've got a raw, athletic tight end that could bring. He's got a big frame too. I think there's a lot there. If he's there in the 5th round, you can add. As kind of coming from a small school kid, I think if he's sitting behind these tight ends now, I think behind Gerald Everett and maybe Trey McKitty to an extent, you got a guy that can really, and Parham for that matter, a guy that could take a year or 2 to develop and be a starting tight end down the road. I would take likely here if it's not cheating.
So Brugler has him as about a 4th, 5th. So this isn't crazy out of the range if you're going off of what he expects. TDN has him as 65th overall player. So there's such a wide range there. I think that if you were to think that is cheating, then I think Ron Ridgway would be cheating.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of either of those 2 guys here. I'm also would like to throw in Lucetta from Penn State. I think that Troy Reeder makes it towards it's not as the biggest need to acquire a linebacker now, but you're talking about the 5th round here. Mm-hmm. So Troy Reeder also isn't making enough money to where that would stop you from getting someone and upgrading. No. So Lucetta, Ridgway, likely are the 3 I would go for here.
Okay.
If I had to pick number 1 though, I'm going Ridgway. I want to add to that defensive line. I'm not sure if we agreed to not go him or not, but that's who I would go with.
Is Ridgway cheating? Yes or no, fellas?
I don't know. Guys like that wind up falling because teams find excuses to let them fall. Like with Ridgway, you're looking at the fact that he only played 1 season in the FCS.
By the way. The chat thinks we're cheating. I hear you, but
for which one?
I think all of them.
Okay.
Likely, Randy says likely is the number 3 tight end, 59 overall.
That's similar to TDN has him too.
Tom's threatening to leave the stream if we.
I will leave this stream.
All right. Well, go back to
man. I don't blame you.
Go back to defensive tackles real quick.
Yeah.
So if we want non-cheating defensive tackles,
Garrett and Peavy could be there in the 5th.
They did just bring in Otito and worked him out. He's intriguing. Kalia Davis, I actually really like. Like if his medicals check out, 5th or 6th round is really like he to me plays like Darius Philon when he was on, like a good penetrating one gapping defensive tackle. So he'd bring some interior pass rush that we don't really have right now. And isn't Eric Johnson one of the guys that the Chargers have talked to a couple times as well?
Yeah, he's been one of their top 30 visits, I believe.
Yeah. So like there's a bunch of guys there that the Chargers have talked to. Like I think all of them.
You know what? Since he's Curtis Brooks, had a big year. 7.5 sacks, 12.5 tackles for loss, first team all AAC for a good team. I like those numbers. He's a little undersized though. He's listed at 6'2", 285. So he'd definitely be one of your 4 eyes in your base front. That's not too shabby.
I just keep going back to like every year we do the live draft. There's always 4 or 5 dudes. We get to this 5th, 6th round that we're like, how are they not taken? Like it's impossible. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that a guy like Ridgeway is still somehow there. I know someone in the chat has put freaking 40 from ESPN, so we're 20 beyond that. It's not out of the realm of possibility in my opinion.
It's all right. Well, if it's Smith was a 6th round pick last year.
If it's not cheating, Ridgeway's my pick.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'll take Ridgeway.
All right, we win. We win the draft.
Right. Yeah.
And we went Pierre Strong in the 4th, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's our worst grade so far for sure.
You think so?
No.
No.
Just giving you crap.
You'll see because PFF is probably gonna.
Oh, they're gonna slaughter us.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Dude, Brian Robinson is still on the board.
Oh, Ty Chandler. Oh my God. That one hurts me. I love him so much. I think
too.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his. All right, so let's see what tight ends are still here. Likely's gone now. Thanks a lot, chat.
Cole Turner was super productive.
He was super productive and then played like crap at the Senior Bowl and tested poorly.
Oh yeah.
That was really disappointing for me because going into the Senior Bowl, I was big.
It is the 6th, but
is Darion Kendrick the Georgia one who tested horrendously?
Yes. I loved him too. I loved his tape.
I had a lot of fun actually watching Jack Jones. I thought his tape was great, but apparently he had a lot of off-field issues. So I was talking to Jamie about this one a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned a few things. So I imagine he would be off their board, but maybe that's changed. I don't know.
Okay, so tight end is for sure something we're looking at here. Corner, we just looked at.
Edge, it's still a need.
Yeah, and linebacker. Your boy Luquetta's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's starting to look tempting.
Stanley, you talked about Karan Johnson. Kyron, whatever his name is, from Kansas.
Oh.
Yeah, in the 6th, that's starting to look like they have him ranked pretty low here too. But Kyron Johnson, I was just writing up about him. He's definitely a guy that I'd want my eye on. He's like, they list him as an edge player, but he measured at 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. Thanks, bud. This is why I'm flying in a babysitter for the show.
Oh, you want to have him make the next pick?
No. They list him as an edge, but he's only like 6 feet tall. He's only like just shy of, just over 220 pounds, but he ran a 4.4 flat. He jumped out of the gym. He's got over 600 special team snaps. And talking about a guy, we talked about how Penning said he wants to legally assault people, but the clips have been going around recently of Kyron Johnson at 220 pounds, putting Penning on his ass at the Senior Bowl, like literally,
that was him.
Literally bull rushing him. At like Penning's got him by 100 pounds, and he bull rushed him back and put him on his ass.
Can you pull up safety?
Yep.
I think when you're talking a 6th round pick, everything that Stanley just said about Kyron is like those are things that you take a chance on. Those are things you definitely would throw a dart at. And he plays a pretty, he could potentially play a position that helps impact the game more so than others. So, I
mean, he checks all the boxes that Nick Neiman checked last year. Like,
yeah, right. Like if he's not going to come in right away and be like a starter or play a bunch of significant snaps on defense, he's probably going to make a difference on special team with those physical traits. So, like, I've kind of been talked into that pick. I like that a lot.
He has everything, but does he have a name like Smoke Monday?
It's an amazing name for sure.
All team name here in the 2022 draft class for sure. I don't mind doing that. Seems to me we got to get a DB here at some point.
Yeah, it's the same thing I'm thinking too.
But we got 2 picks.
Yeah, there's a million DBs.
And there's another, there's another one coming up. So
all right. So looks like Stanley talked everybody into Johnson here. So let's take Johnson and find our DB here. But why is it stuck?
Oh no!
What?
PFF? Why? Watch, they just pushed. Watch, they just pushed out an update and like nuked our draft.
Yo, Smoke Monday on 420.
Oh yeah, I mean, no lie, Smoke Monday is who I'm gonna be pushing most likely. So either him or Lucetta.
All right, so our draft is completely.
Try like pausing and resuming. See if that'll do anything.
All right.
Well,
PFF.
Pourquoi?
No. What have you done?
Oh God.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. We'll do it live. All right. So which DB you guys like? Jack Jones? This is great. I love this. I love this, by the way. We're not going to see how we graded.
This is going to be our last pick, too.
I know.
I just love that it wasn't, an echo. It wasn't us trying to line up the stream this time. It wasn't any of that. All that's gone totally smooth. It was PFF side.
PFF messed it all up. Thanks. F in the chat for PFF. All right, so you guys probably Jack Jones there.
I don't think they go that route only because of the stuff that had him suspended in college. So
this is the best case scenario. I didn't even realize was an option.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Rich.
Oh man.
I mean, okay, so that's a good point by Randy there in the chat too.
If he's still there, I don't take him in these anymore because So we're talking about the punter, Ariza, and I literally don't take him in the mocks anymore because I have no idea where he's going to go. Like, I could literally see a team throwing a third-round pick at him, or I could see him lasting until the 6th. Like, I honestly have no idea what is a good range for him.
Do you think if we took a trade that it would let us move on? Or no?
Yeah, let's trade up to this pick so we can make a pick.
Okay.
Just give them like next year's first.
It's gonna be accepted.
You mean the Cardinals are willing to take our first round pick?
Oh, come on!
Oh, and it's still bro.
No. You just presumed that you didn't click offer trade.
Oh,
I didn't.
No.
Hold on. Okay. Oh, my bad. Okay.
They'll take next year's
201. You can that.
They'll take next year's first to move up 13 in the 4th.
Bingo! Yes!
Hey, let's go.
Now we're talking. Let's trade up for a DB, baby.
This is quality content that you won't get anywhere else.
Oh, man, this is awesome. All right, so I'm going to put both corner and safety here.
So they just did some work on Sean Jolly.
Jack Jones is still there. Smoke Monday. All right, what are you guys thinking? I'm out on this. I like some of Jolly, but I mean, it's a 6th-round pick. I wouldn't mind going that route.
So Smoke Monday is known for his special teams ability. He is listed as a safety, but he's predominantly known as a core special teamer. I think this is a good area to get something like that. Not only provide safety depth because he did obviously play safety and was successful there, but his special teams ability immediately would be good to get, especially since they're not bringing back. I know he was injured for a good portion of the year last year, but Ryan Smith. I think having someone like that would be good here. I know Arise is obviously an option. I think he's still there, right?
Let's see. Special teams. Yep.
Yeah. So I would go Smoke Monday, Lucetta, Ariza would be the three I'm looking at here.
Okay. Mike, you got a opinion on any of these guys? We traded last year's first, so this better be good.
This guy
and you're muted. You're muted, Mike, by the way.
You did have to make a trade to get.
Yeah, we had we traded our first round for next year for this, so this better be good.
BFS gonna give us like a C grade for that.
Man,
don't care.
Who did everyone else like? Remind me.
Stanley. Oh, Stebbs said Smoke Monday.
Okay.
Jack Jones was there, and it was the Edge. Is that who?
Oh, Lucetta's gone. Never mind. Yeah. So it would be.
Will you go back to corner? I thought I saw a name there that it might actually be cheating that he's this low. Monteric Brown from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was mocked to the Chargers recently, and I could have sworn it was much earlier than the 6th, or maybe it was around this time, but that's a name. Are we pretty set? We need a DB, so this is kind of where we're looking at here.
I think so.
Okay. Sean Jolly, fine. I think a little on the smaller side. I think a lot of these are coin flips for me. 6th round pick or second of the 6th round picks.
Okay. Stanley, you want to break this tie? Oh, this is great. More like Smoke Wednesday. Yes. Andre's great. Good one. You're muted, by the way, Stanley. So
I know.
No, and that's fine. Let's work out the kinks now. So we're gonna be good to go.
No, I keep muting because I've got this thing over here.
Yeah.
Yelling at me to put on Cars or Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Declan chat says Toy Story.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
Okay. But for me here, can you show me interior offensive line? No gracias. Show me tackles real quick. Oh, fun side note about PFF's mock draft too. A name that has been coming up in Charger circles a lot recently for a late tackle is Gene DeLance. He is not listed on the PFF mock system. He's not in there at all. But this would be somewhere where I would take a guy like that. I was just reading up on him today, and I couldn't believe he has, I think, the longest arms I remember ever seeing listed for a tackle. Like, he has 36.5-inch arms, which is just nuts to me.
Chris Paul's a good value here too. Listed as tackle, but a lot of people project him as guard.
So the one that I need to do more work on that is a tempting name here, also because of the Chargers, is Zachary Thomas there.
Mm-hmm.
He's been getting a lot of late love, and a lot of people think that he can stay outside and doesn't have to move inside to guard like a lot of people are projecting. And I could see him being a guy that the Chargers are looking at. And obviously they just brought in that Ryan Von Denmark from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of bottom of the barrel here.
Hey, Brian Robinson's still there.
We already took a running back. Thanks.
Anti Chandler. Oh man.
Yeah, the Ty Chandler one, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jason Poe. He's been getting some love recently.
Go to just actually, never mind.
The kid from Mercer.
Yeah, the guard that Fennel said like he pulls like he's got a rocket up his ass. And he does. It's kind of insane.
I love that description.
Video.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic description.
I'm willing to just go with the corner that Mike talked about. He talked me into him.
Who, Montero
Brown? Yeah.
Let's do it.
You want to do it, Stanley?
Yeah.
You got anybody else?
No, I mean we can go for Brown. It's funny. I was looking through Dane Brugler's The Beast, and I don't even see Brown listed, like at all. Like not even in
13
his
starts, 5 interceptions this year, first team All SEC.
He's the 39th rated corner on.
Oh, there he is. All right, yeah. So he's got him listed as a priority free agent.
Well,
he only ran a 4.54 at sub 200 pounds, and he's only got 31 and a quarter inch arms.
So then, are we going back to Stebbins, Jack Jones pick?
I was more Smoke Monday at the safeties, but then I see there that Isaac Taylor Stewart's available from USC, and they haven't got one of their USC LA guys yet. So there are options to DB that aren't the worst in this selection here. So I think DB is the right direction.
I do like Isaac Taylor Stewart.
Yeah, I'm actually switching to him
this late. He's got really good size. He's over 6'1". He's almost 6'1.5", 200 pounds. Ran a 4.4.
Yep, Isaac Taylor Stewart's the one for me.
All right, let's just do it. Let's see how this turns out. Yo.
It broke again.
Good. It's not going to give us a grade.
Yes.
Yeah, we got all our picks in.
Yeah,
I mean, as God intended.
How great is this? All right. Well.
Yeah.
All right. So we went. Now we got to go off memory.
You can scroll up probably still, right?
Yeah, you can scroll up.
That's a lot of scrolling up.
So it was Chris Olave in the first, Dylan Parham in the third, Pierre Strong in the fourth, John Ridgway in the fifth, and the 2 picks in the sixth were Karan Johnson
and Isaac Taylor Stewart. Yep. There we go. All right. I think we're good.
Yeah,
I love this PFF.
I think it's a good draft. I think that plugs a lot of holes. We got contributors pretty much through the draft at some level. Hopefully the real draft winds up being a little more fun. Hopefully we trade a couple of times. It's funny, like the more I do these mocks, like the picks where the Chargers currently have them, you're finding good players, but it creates like a pretty boring draft. Like option one far and away is hopefully a scenario where they can trade down even like a couple of picks, like even going like 17 to 20. Yeah.
I think that like this draft, it went an interesting way a few times. I think not only by breaking, but also just some of the guys we thought would be there, and also some of the guys that we thought would be gone. But I think what it did do is it addressed several areas that were the biggest deficiency last year when injuries occurred. So this really adds to the depth. You're talking about a corner. I mean, we all don't want to see much more of Tavon Campbell, right? Mm-hmm. Isaac Taylor Stewart adding to corner, Karan Johnson adding to the edge rotation there. John Ridgway adding to the interior defensive line depth. We have the starting situation figured out, even though Tillery's still one of them. But behind them, it really adds to the depth there. Pierre Strong, we all know that the search for a running back number 2 is desperate at this point. Dylan Parham, we get in their starting rotation, the starting offensive line most likely. And then Chris Olave adds so much to your offense there. It's an aspect of your offense you were missing last season. So even though, it may not be the most sexy draft per se, but like it adds in so many areas, and each guy will be such an asset going forward, or at least potentially. So I'm a big fan of the way this rolled out for us. Yeah,
we missed out on a tight end, but
But they said every 2 years they have Parham still for this next season at least, and they have McKitty for the blocking aspect. So it's not the worst.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look at this. This is why
Oh.
We cheated so much it broke the system. Oh man. All right. Well, we're good. You guys got any last words before we get out of here?
Looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Everybody come, bring the energy, tell your friends. We're gonna be
and the alcohol.
Yeah, bring alcohol. I'm probably gonna have booze and a full pizza.
Liquor.
Oh, pizza's a move. Okay, I might have to do that too.
That's what I did. That's what I did the year before last, and it's the move because then you can just like eat like through the night, like because we're here a while. Like those of you who've been with us before, like all 3 days are a grind.
Mm-hmm. So that third day is going to be fun because we have a few draft picks right before the draft ends, leading into that UDFA rush. I know we all love doing, and I actually missed out on a lot of that last year. So, big excited for that. And
we have 6 picks in the last 2 rounds. Like, hour 5 to 7 of that draft of the show are gonna be real exciting.
Yeah,
it's gonna be very busy.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you Thursday. We'll probably get on a little bit before the draft starts, right?
Yeah, probably half hour or so. Unless it's too early.
No, I'll be around.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Stanley's got a babysitter. He'll be here early.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, baby. Parenthood.
My babysitter flies in at 6:30 a.m. on Thursday. So
perfect. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.